Hi, I'm Brian McCann. If you're watching this, if you can like, follow, and share, I would like to consider this particular video almost like a video application for firms that handle the type of work that I'm going to talk about. So today, I really want to talk about civil RICO cases. They're in the news. There's a lot of things happening with them being used in novel ways to hold plaintiffs' firms potentially accountable. And we're going to get into that. But first, let's watch this short video clip on what civil RICO is.
I used to be able to throw a pigskin a quarter mile.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. Watch this.
What the heck are you doing?
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, so I couldn't find a good video on what civil RICO is, which is why I'm making one. And obviously that's not civil RICO, that's Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite. I still believe he can throw a pigskin a quarter mile. Nonetheless, to understand civil RICO, you have to understand that you have to prove like predicate offenses. For instance, there's a landmark suit now that involves Uber and Simon & Simon. And to the best of my understanding, I don't know, it involves impropriety or alleged impropriety between the firm and some medical providers to bring what Uber and its representatives claim are fraudulent cases. Now, whether that's true or not, we're not here to discuss, but that has led to a rash of other civil RICO litigation being planned, talked about, or brought in other jurisdictions, specifically by defense firms against plaintiffs' firms. I want to take a minute and look at other areas of law within the plaintiff side that still can be susceptible to civil RICO, and I think are going to be moving forward. So the Uber, Simon & Simon case is really between those two, and that's in the traditional court system. However, let's talk about possible avenues that are going to occur within the administrative law venues. So if you've never seen this, there's a great documentary about Eric Kahn on the Apple TV network. But here's a quick clip that kind of goes over who Eric Kahn is.
In our most shocking cases of greed. Tonight, Eric Kahn.
Eric C. Kahn took a plea deal today.
Kahn's a disability attorney who advertises he's a man of the people.
You now have Mr. Social Security on your side.
But he's really the convicted mastermind of a $500 million fraud.
Kahn had a brilliant business plan, and he would have made millions if he didn't cheat.
The colorful showman angles for the public's sympathy.
Eric,
Even as the feds close in.
we need you back.
I never left.
And government whistleblowers expose his history-making scam.
It escalated in a way that we never could have imagined.
Yet Kahn does leave, and he becomes a fugitive, while many of his clients are stripped of their disability benefits.
They are good, honest, salt of the earth.
So to put it short, Eric Kahn ran a very successful Social Security firm in West Virginia. And he was everywhere, according to the documentary. I don't know firsthand. And what occurred is eventually there were some whistleblowers, and they started talking to a New York Times reporter. And the New York Times reporter was looking across the country at all the Social Security administrative law judges. And they found that mostly everyone was in between 40 and 60% approval rate. But in West Virginia, there was an office, and there was in particular a judge who was way, way higher, closer to 100%. So that led to further investigation, further whistleblowers. What they found was that there was collusion between Eric Kahn, doctors, and administrative law judges. So specifically, there was an administrative law judge who lost his job because he either was alleged or admitted to having taken money directly from Eric Kahn in order to produce this scheme. We're going to go ahead and see the judge who was involved at his arraignment in the following video.
Virginia Social Security judge pleads not guilty in a case that also involves disability attorney Eric C. Kahn. Retired Judge David B. Doherty was arraigned this afternoon in federal court in Lexington. That's where we find WINT's Matthew Rand, who joins us live. Matt?
Steve, that's right. As you know, Doherty, Kahn, and a former doctor who worked with Kahn were all named in an indictment earlier this month, an 18-count indictment. Doherty arrived at the courthouse today with his attorney and his wife, Mary Lee Doherty. Doherty listened to the charges against him, which allege he took part in a conspiracy with the other two defendants to commit mail and wire fraud in an effort to fraudulently award Social Security benefits to thousands of claimants. Doherty also faces multiple counts of money laundering. Some of the charges against him carry sentences of up to 20 years.
Ultimately, this cost the taxpayers hundreds of millions of dollars. Eric Kahn ended up fleeing the country. It was really something else, and it's a great documentary if you haven't seen it. But this had real damage. A lot of people lost their benefits, and here is one of the whistleblowers, and they're going to talk about what happened to their life for trying to do the right thing and trying to point out, hey, there's, something rotten in Denmark, so to speak.
Fired, stalked, and everything you guys went through, was it always seemed like it was worth it?
At times, no. We went through a lot of hell and back, and everything from retaliation to tires slashed to brake lines slashed. So, and people following us. It wasn't always, it was something. It was difficult, and you just kind of had to take a deep breath and march forward.
And so, by the way, I am not suggesting that this occurs in the Social Security field at all. I think from all the reports I have read since this time, the federal government has done not only a good job, a phenomenal job of making sure that this is not possible within the Social Security system. However, as companies like Uber or Lyft or any large companies start looking at claims in other administrative law fields, and that spans the gamut from environmental in some states to different schemes to workers' comp, to various areas. What I would take from this is, just like Eric Kahn had ex parte, which means communications with the judge outside of the proper legal process, and that resulted in tangible things of value being traded, and ultimately led to impropriety. I think that is probably where civil RICO goes next. So to state administrative law fields, where the firms who operate in them are influential in hiring the judges, also may or may not engage in ex parte communications, and may or may not exchange tangible things of value. So that's probably where things are going. And it's going to be an explosive field. So not only where I live in Pennsylvania, but around the country, all these administrative law fields are siloed. So people don't get votes on them. These are hired, and it comes basically through, you give money to politics, you have influence in the hiring, you then have ex parte communications, you have tangible things of value exchanging, and that effectively is a predicate offense. So as firms in the future move, what they're going to need to look for is potentially administrative law venues. They're going to look for where ex parte communication can be happening. So, I'm not a member, but Philadelphia has clubs like this all around the country. And maybe that's where the ex parte communication is occurring, or maybe it's just on their cell phones. That's possible too. So this is an exciting time. If you're hiring in this field, I know it says I'm a freelance attorney, but that's a nice way of saying I'm unemployed. So please like, follow, and share for more. I hope that if you knew nothing about civil RICO, this at least gave you an idea of where it's going. You can Google the elements of civil RICO and be as confused as ever, but I do call myself the Oracle. So this is where I see it going next. I hope you like, please share and follow for more. Thank you.